What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out a new episode of the BarbacoaCore Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick C. Huerta. Thank you again for listening. I very much appreciate it. Um, share, subscribe on whichever platform that you use to listen to these podcasts. As you know, we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, uh, Castbox, and Google Play. Just hit the subscribe button on that, so you'll be notified every time we post a new episode. Um, I'm changing it up. As you know, I like to change things up even after I say that I'm going to do a set plan. But I'm going to just post episodes whenever the episodes are available rather than waiting for a certain day. I'm just going to try my best to get an episode out weekly. Um, and since I don't have a set day, the best thing to do is to subscribe to these platforms, whether it's on iTunes, SoundCloud, Castbox, Google Play, or YouTube. So you'll get notifications every time a new episode is uploaded. So that would be the best bet. So share, subscribe. I do appreciate it. And even on iTunes, if you give like a 5-star review, that will help our visibility for other people to listen to the podcast, be introduced to the podcast. So it won't only be helping me and the podcast, but also the guests that I bring in. It'll help them, help promote, push whatever it is they have going on. I want to give out shout outs from the SoundCloud. These are people that have liked an episode from this past month or within the past month. So I'm going to start giving out shout outs. So that's a good way to get to say thank you to all those people that are supporting this podcast. So shout outs through SoundCloud. Shout out to Uglyhead. Not only does he let me use the intro, the music for the intro and outro of this and every episode, but he listens to the podcast and he likes the episodes. So shout out to Uglyhead. Shout out to Israel Garcia Comic. He was on the Las Saladas show that I did a couple weekends ago. Funny guy, great comic. We talked about getting him on the podcast. So he's on tour right now. So whenever he's back in town, I'm going to definitely try my best to get him to sit down and do an episode for the BarbacoaCore Podcast. But shout out to him for liking the episode of the Las Chaladas one. Shout out to Kyrian L. Lavinge 26. I'm sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. And also Kyrian P. Richards. Not sure if those are the same people, but they both liked an episode respectively. So shout out to the two Kyrians. Shout out to Darren D. Palumbo 5. Shout out to user 362922157. You don't have a name on there, but I should give you a shout out anyway with your user ID. Shout out to Terry Karpinski, and shout out to China of China Doll's Unique World. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast, for supporting, liking, and sharing, subscribing. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that. As always, let me give shout outs to CBDB. Follow them on Instagram at mycbdb, or use their website, www.mycbdb.com. On the website, you can use the promo code TXMC, and that will give you 15% off of any purchase that you make through the website. But follow them on Instagram at mycbdb. So you can find out where they're at. CBDB, they're the Texas Hemp Botanical Alternative Boutique and Pop-Up Shop for all your CBD needs all throughout Texas. So shout out to CBDB. Also, again, shout out to Uglyhead for letting us use the music for the intro and outro of these episodes. Uglyhead just released a new EP. It's called the Disembodied EP. It is currently available for digital download through their Bandcamp. I have the link through the BarbacoaCore.com page. Click that link, and that will take you to Uglyhead's website, and so you can get more information on them. So shout out to Uglyhead. Also, shout out to 104 Menudo y Mas. They're on Facebook and Instagram. They are a pop-up shop. They specialize in menudo. They also do like pulled pork sandwiches, shredded chicken sandwiches, different stuff from time to time. But to stay in the know, follow them on Instagram and on Facebook. You could also follow the BarbacoaCore Podcast page on Facebook. That is where I like to repost anything that the guests of the podcast or friends of the podcast have going on. I like to share and repost it there. And also follow the BarbacoaCore Podcast Instagram. I prefer the Instagram just because the whole algorithms thing. I'm not sure if you're seeing everything that I share or repost on Facebook. So follow the BarbacoaCore Podcast Instagram page. That is where I also repost anything that the guests or friends of the podcast have going on. If there's a show that they're a part of, I'll repost it on that page. So follow the Instagram page, follow us on Facebook. You can find everything BarbacoaCore related at the website. It's www.barbacoacore.com. Again, you could find the links to all the platforms, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Castbox, or the YouTube page. And you can also find, the CBDBs linked up to there and Ugly Heads linked up to there. Also, what you can find there is show announcements. I have 2 show announcements for June. June 5th, I will be part of the local Budos comedy show. That's June 5th. That's going to be at the Cinderella Ballroom. That's at 3333 West Avenue in San Antonio, Texas, 78213. So June 5th, Wednesday, June 5th, doors will open at 7:30. Dinner's going to be between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Admission is $20, but that includes your meal. And I'm assuming that's going to be some type of Mexican plate. I don't know if they're doing like a Mexican buffet before the show. The comedy will be between 8 and 10 o'clock. There will be a 20-minute intermission, like sometime around 9, I guess. Again, tickets are $20. I'm assuming that's at the door. But with that $20, dinner is included in that. At this event, it's a bring your own liquor, but no outside beer, because beer will be available for purchase at the venue. So that's June 5th, the local Budos comedy show. It's going to be me and 10 other comedians, I believe. I don't have the list of comedians. I'll get that to you, when it's posted. But I will be on that show. I believe we're doing 10-minute sets. You can see that June 5th, local Budos comedy show at the Cinderella Ballroom in San Antonio. And I'll have a link to that, to the Facebook event page through my website, BarbacoaCore.com, BarbacoaCore.com for the event page on that. Also, the BarbacoaCore Podcast will be at the Return to the Metal Capital show. That's June 29th. That's Saturday, June 29th. That's going to be at the UTSA Institute of Texan Cultures. That's downtown San Antonio. That's happening starting at 1 p.m. It runs from like 1 p.m. to like 3 p.m. It's a celebration of the San Antonio 80s metal scene. So there'll be live music by Bifist. They'll be performing like SA metal classics. There'll be an exhibit by Tex Pop of the Texas metal memorabilia. There's also exclusive prizes and giveaways at the event. There will be a music panel featuring people from Hellstar, a member of Juggernaut, member of Cyrus, member of Wizards, member of SA Slayer, and member of Bifist. That panel is going to be moderated by Rob Chavez. The event is brought to you by the UTSA Institute of Texan Cultures and associates with Rob Chavez of Rob's Metalworks. So I'm stoked to be a part of this event. I will be conducting interviews at the show, people involved in the show, and also just fans of the show, the people that came out to take part of this celebration of the 80s metal scene. So you can catch me out there. You could probably be a part of the BarbacoaCore podcast if you come out to that show. So yeah, I have that information. You can find more information on that on the website, thebarbacoacore.com. Also, more information of the comedy show on June 5th at barbacoacore.com. Cool. That's it for the intro. It's a very long intro. On this episode, I have local comedian BRENDON Potter. He's a very funny guy. I've seen him at a bunch of open mics working on his craft. I've been wanting to get him in for a while. He's part of like the writing crew that they do, or it's not really a official name, but every time you see him around, they're always together. The three guys, Joey Smith, who's been on the podcast before, Justin Byers, who's been on the podcast before, and now BRENDON Potter. And then BRENDON Potter, he's part of a show that's going on at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club in San Antonio. That's June 2nd. It's a free show, but you do got an RSVP on the website. That's 7:30. So you can go to the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club website, the Eventbrite page to RSVP your tickets. It's going to be a good show. Not only is BRENDON Potter on there, but they have Adrian Flores, Joey Legretti, Jay LaFar, Big Al Gonzalez, and then Anthony Torino. So it's going to be a night of heavy hitters. So it'll be fun. June 2nd at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club at 7:30. So yeah, you could also find them on Instagram and Twitter at Potters or Pots on Fire, POTTSONFIRE. Or you can follow him on Facebook, BRENDON Potter. But funny guy, we had to wrap it up because I like to keep these episodes close to an hour. There was so much more that I wanted to get into, so I will definitely have him back on to talk more about different stuff. But for now, enjoy the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Welcome to the podcast, BRENDON Potter. What up? Welcome to the show, Mr. BRENDON Potter. What's up, man?
Oh, nothing much, man. I love that ugly head, by the way, playing.
Oh, yeah. No, man, it's good. Good friends of mine from Seattle, dude.
Nice.
And on the intro and outro, I play drums on those tracks.
Yeah, dude.
So I was like, if I asked him if I could use it, he's like, oh man, it's fucking cool. Go
Nice.
ahead.
I'm nice and relaxed right now, with CBDB.
Oh, now I see what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm good, man.
Cool, man.
I'm the company man.
Yeah,
I'll toe the company line.
Yeah, you brought your bike, man. How long you been riding bikes?
About like 5-6 years.
Oh, yeah. And you just got this new one, huh?
Yeah, I just got the new one. Actually, I got it like mainly for comedy. I had a Sportster, like a tiny little bike, and my wife had a bike too.
Your wife rides too?
She did, yeah.
Oh shit.
She got her bike like a couple years ago. She had a little Sportster as well. Her bike was actually better than mine, man. Like her bike was sick. But she never rode it, dude. She went over a year without riding it.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, look, we could trade in both bikes and get a bike that's like good for long distance trips. Because I started taking the Sportster down to like Jokesters. I live up in New Braunfels. So I started taking it down to like Jokesters and down to LOL. And dude, it's like on a little Sportster, you're getting like tossed around in the wind. So I was like, if I get like, why don't we trade in these and I'll get something that's like actually nice.
Yeah.
46 miles to the gallon instead of my truck, which is like 15.
Yeah.
So
why'd she stop riding?
She just never really got comfortable on it.
Yeah.
Like she did like the course. She would go on back roads all the time, and she went on like a couple little main roads, but she was a little too afraid to go on like main roads.
Yeah.
Like I don't blame her. It's at first it's kind of freaky. The other thing was like we would try and get out to ride, but we have 2 kids. So it's like we would either have to have somebody come over to like watch the kids just so we could ride.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like we never really could get out together.
Yeah.
So, and she's not going to go riding on her own without me.
Yeah.
Like while she doesn't know anything.
I wanted to get a bike. I told my wife, like, for my 35th birthday, we'll get a bike. You know, I wanted to get a bike.
Hell yeah.
And then, well, my brother-in-law got one. My wife's brother got a bike, and I was like, you kind of ruined it for me.
He stole your thunder?
Yeah.
Just get a better bike than him. Make his look girly.
Nah. But he's all into it and stuff. You know, I guess he's going through that like midlife crisis or whatever and stuff. And then all his cousins, like he has cousins up in Houston and I think just in Houston that ride bikes and stuff.
Right.
So he'll take that trip. He'll do that road trip and stuff. But I always wanted to get a bike, like just for the long. Like, I don't think I would ride it in the city, like just to and from work and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it would be kind of relaxing to do it like the big open roads, like long road trips and stuff.
I love it, dude. Like on the weekends, I just go out cruising just to cruise.
Yeah, it says it's pretty relaxing and shit. But nah, man. And then all of a sudden, like when I turned 35, 36, and all of a sudden I became like very aware of like accidents. You know,
Yes.
like, oh shit. Like I'm not afraid to die. I'm afraid to like not completely die. You know, like
You're afraid of surviving.
Surviving and like being like fucking like paralyzed and shit. Like we just saw what was that one with Kevin Hart and he's like the caregiver.
Yeah.
Upside or
I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. And I was like, man, that would suck. Like the only reason like it was good for that guy. Well, not good for anybody, but like he was like a millionaire, like so much money, like
Yeah.
that's what helped him survive. You know, getting the caretakers and getting like everybody to help him out and shit. Like I was like, fuck, if I'm paralyzed, like I'm just fucked.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, with my luck, it would be that like you're not gonna die, but you can't move anything, just like your neck and shit.
If my wife doesn't know already, you need to pull the plug if something happens. She's not going to listen to this probably. She never listens to anything I'm on. So she's like, I listen to you too much already.
Yeah. That's why I have like a DNR tattooed on my stomach.
DNR, what's that?
Do not
resuscitate. Do not resuscitate. Oh, yeah, okay. I was thinking it was some type of like Game of Thrones type shit, which I know you don't listen to or watch.
I've never seen an episode of it. Well, we don't have HBO. We do Netflix and stuff, but we don't watch HBO. But I've never really been into like any of those like what would you call them? Like
I'm not a sci-fi
fantasy
guy.
pieces.
Yeah, same.
I like space. I like sci-fi, like Star Trek and Star Wars and shit like that.
Okay.
But I've never been into like the fantasy shit like that.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't like dragons and incest?
Nah.
Which one? Like just the dragons? You don't like the dragons?
Yeah, I mean incest I'm okay with. It's just the dragons that bore me, you know.
Roll Tide, man.
So that's cool, man. So yeah, thanks for coming on. I've been wanting to get you on for a while, man.
Yeah.
And then I saw that you have this show coming up. Oh yeah, let's start it off. Shout outs and social media. How do people find you?
People can find me Pots on Fire, POTTSONFIRE on Twitter and Instagram. Mm-hmm. On Facebook, I'm just Brendan Potter. To be honest, I do not really get on Twitter or Instagram too much.
Yeah.
But I need to be better about it.
Yeah, man, it's a great networking tool, man.
Yeah.
Just to get people like to hashtag it up and like people can find out about you who don't know you personally and stuff, and then they could find you on different outlets and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely something I need to be better about. What kind of turned me off to it was what I was telling you about, where like I would post something and the only people that would like it were people that live anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
And so like all my family would like, who hasn't seen me in 10 years would be like, oh, I'm sure you're going to do great. And it just got to the point where it's just like, this is kind of weird to like post comedy stuff and nobody that's been to my show is like, I bet you're going to do great. And it's like, all right. Didn't feel like a comedian's post. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. I mean, you could do like a comedian page. I know a few people who have like a few pages out there and stuff, but that gets too hard to handle, like too much to handle sometimes, you know, like a personal page.
I don't think mine would be too much to handle.
No. But so you got the show coming up on the 2nd, right?
Yeah. So on
what's up with that?
June 2nd, it's starts at 7:30. Tickets are actually free. I post about it pretty much every day. I'm sure you could find it on LOL's website as well, but tickets are free. You just have to register for the tickets at the Eventbrite page. But it's Anthony Torino, Al Gonzalez, Jay LaFar, Adrian Flores, and Joe Ligretti, and then myself.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking stoked for it, man. That'll be my first time on the big stage.
Yeah, man. It's a fucking like it's a loaded show. I mean, like all those heavy hitters and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it like I was asking you? It's a military themed show. Like everybody's been in the military or something like that.
I don't think everybody's been in the military. I think either Al or Jay, one of those two, is not. Maybe Jay. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I think Al was in the military.
Okay, yeah. But I know Anthony runs Crosshairs Comedy, and Crosshairs Comedy is very like militarily involved as far as like they make sure that veterans get like I think either discounts or in free most of the time. So I think a lot of the stuff that Anthony Torino throws on is a little bit more military themed.
Yeah.
In the sense that you have like a lot of military people coming out.
Yeah.
So
what about Joe or Adrian? Were they in the military? You know?
I don't think so. No. I'm not positive, but I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I just thought like that was like everybody was part of like the military, like different branches being represented or something.
I should have torn down that thought immediately. Yeah. There's no way I would get in. They'd be like, no, your T levels are through the charts, but on the bottom end, so you're not allowed to be in here.
Yeah, man. I always told people like I wish I would have joined the military. You know, my family, my sister was in the Navy. I had a cousin in the Navy, 2 uncles in the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy and stuff. So I would always say, "Oh man, I wish I would follow that footsteps." And then they were like, "Well, we'll do it." So I stopped saying that until I turned 30.
Right.
I was like, "Well, I can't do it now." Now I just wish I could have.
Dude, I grew up like mostly in California.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, like the military, I never even thought of as an option. It was never pushed that much in school.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like it wasn't until I moved out here that I was like, oh shit, military was actually like an option for a lot of people. It never even crossed my mind.
They didn't go to your high school and try to recruit you from there?
I'm sure they did. Maybe they just avoided me. Maybe I'm just finding out now that they really didn't want me.
Yeah.
They were like avoiding me in the hallways.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't approach me in high school either, I guess. I would see their table. I was like, no, just like don't make eye contact, and they never wanted me either. I guess.
You come up, they put up like an out to lunch sign up.
Break. They just sit there.
We'll be back. They're still sitting there.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I always I like the travel aspect of it.
Yeah.
I forget. I think who was I talking to? I don't know. But my biggest fear was not making it through like boot camp and shit. Like you've seen Full Metal Jacket, right?
Right.
My biggest fear was being that guy, being Gomer Pyle, like that goes crazy and shit, picked on and all that stuff, and everybody's punished extra because of his actions or lack thereof, whatever. I was like, fuck, I could be that guy. I don't have any confidence in my physical ability.
Oh, neither do I, and I don't have any confidence in my mental ability either, because I'm pretty sure I would have tested terribly, and then they would have put me on the front line somewhere.
Yeah,
they'd been like, he is expendable as fuck, man.
That's funny. I was talking to Adrian. He's your personal trainer, right? Adrian
I haven't worked out with him in a little while. I don't know if you could tell, but
man. See, you're skinny and shit. Like, I guess you're just trying to like bulk up.
Well, I lost like 38 pounds this year. Like from January to now, I lost like 38 pounds. So now I'm like where I want to be. Now I wouldn't mind bulking up a little bit now.
Yeah, but
no.
Yesterday he was like, "Man, we should work out together. You should work out. I can help you out and stuff." And I was like, no, man, that would be embarrassing and shit. Like, I feel like I got to work out just so I could work out with him.
For real.
Because the stories I hear, like he's fucking buff, man.
Yeah.
That's what he does for a living.
The last time I worked out with him was really depressing for me. So like I was working out and he was like halfway through the workout, he was like, hey, you weren't really athletic like in high school, were you? And I was like, what? Like I was actually really athletic in high school. That was like really depressing to hear.
Yeah.
And then I started like feeling like we were working out and I was like, dude, I think I'm going to throw up. And he was like, all right, well, like stop. And like, how it is, like you're like, I'm a man. I'm like, all right, well, we stopped for like a minute and I was like, all right, well, let's start again. He was like, do you still feel like you're going to throw up? It's like, yeah.
Yeah. He's
like, then don't work out, idiot. Yeah. And I ended up throwing up like 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
We had to like cut the workout short. It was embarrassing.
See, that's the thing too. Like I don't want to, I would never say that I need to stop.
Right.
I was just like, just like ignore all these dots in my eyes and shit like that. Like, I'm just feeling dizzy. And that's, I don't know where I got that from, where I would never I'd rather pass out.
Right.
Than say, I can't do that anymore. And that would be fucking embarrassing too. Like fucking pass out, piss my pants, shit my pants and shit. Just because
wake up 30 minutes later. Yeah.
Just because of my pride. But I was like, fuck, man, I couldn't do that. And that's why I would sign up for gyms, gym memberships. And I would never go, just because I was embarrassed to be around people. And even those ones that say no judgment zone, no, they fucking judge.
Yeah,
that's why guys go to the gym to see who they're better than.
Right.
That's the whole point. So I was like, I would exercise at home to try to prepare to go to the gym, and I wasted a lot of money because they won't let you just cancel. Like no, you can't cancel. Like You can't cancel over the phone. You can't cancel by email. You have to go in person. Like, oh, fuck it.
Dude, a gym membership is like trying to get a sweater back from a clingy girlfriend. Like, you will get the sweater back from the clingy girlfriend before you cancel that gym membership.
Yeah, because next thing you know, you're back with that girlfriend. You're like, well, why do I get back? Oh, that sweater. Yeah, man. We have a gym here in the complex and stuff, and I've lived here 5 years. I've probably been there once for every year that I've been here. Yeah, man.
You know what would be the ultimate power move since you live here? You know when people like buy a treadmill at their house and like after a month people just hang clothes on it?
Yeah.
You should just come down here and hang clothes on the treadmill down here.
That would be funny. This is my storage. My storage now. I gotta get back into it, man. I gotta fucking get back on my diet because it's just so hard to fucking be healthy and shit.
Dude, for real.
It's expensive, and it's not convenient, and yeah. But I kept saying like, oh, I'll just eat whatever and then just go to the gym. But I've been saying that for months. I haven't been in the gym yet.
Dude, I would definitely like overeat before, but my crux was like Cokes, man. I would drink Cokes.
Yeah.
I drink like 5, 6, 7 a day.
Yeah.
So I cut that shit out and like that dropped me down a bunch. But like even beyond the Cokes, it's like depressing seeing what you used to eat, which is incredibly delicious. Mm-hmm. You're like, dude, that is like way more than I should have in like 2 days.
Yeah.
In that one meal. And I was doing that like 3 times a day.
Yeah. And I'm at the point where like it's good at that time, like while you're eating it, and then afterwards I'm like, man, I really didn't do that. I really didn't need to do that, you know.
Just avoid your eyes in the mirror.
Yeah. Or just like avoid like reading the back of the packet thing. Right. You know, like my thing is Pop-Tarts. I fucking hate that I love Pop-Tarts because it's just fast, easy, and you know, it's comforting when you know, in the morning with your coffee and all that shit. And then
what's your Pop-Tart of choice?
Strawberry. And then they'll see like a big old fucking stamp on the front, like this was 410 pounds. I have 410 calories. I was like,
for one, or is it for the package?
For the package.
Oh,
I think it's for the package. I don't know, man. But I was like, fuck, man. Like, that's not satisfying anymore. And now I'm just depressed, and now I'm a little like I got the sugar shakes and all that stuff. But yeah, man, just getting older, man. Like, you gotta watch what you eat now. But yeah, but no, I was like, he's like, yeah, you should work out. We should work out together. I was like, man, I can't. I'm not gonna do that. You know, like it's embarrassing.
Right.
But I need somebody who's like starting with me. But everybody who's in my same like disposition, like they're not working out either. So I was like,
dude, I know I'm not like the manliest man, but it is like really embarrassing. Like we were doing like pull-ups after like not that many. He was like assisting me up, and then like we're doing push-ups and not that many into them. I'm going down to like the knee push-ups.
Yeah.
And then not that many into the knee push-ups. I like can't do them. So he's like helping me up. He's doing like 80% of the work. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
The only thing that was nice was like where he was at is like a personal trainer place. And so the only people that are in there are with a personal trainer. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a Gold's or like a Planet Fitness where you walk in and there's like 100 people in there.
It's kind of like a private gym.
So like I really only had 2 to 4 other people judging me, and 2 of them were like trainers. So
yeah,
they kind of understood.
Yeah, I thought about inviting somebody over here to like just look at the gym, look at the equipment, because they've expanded since then. Since I've been here.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, there's all this stuff that I don't know how to use. I was like thinking of inviting somebody to come and like just do like a program, like write up a program for me that I could just do whenever I have time. But I was like, man, I don't want to invite somebody and then pay them for it and then not do the program.
Yeah.
You know, because you invest in something and not follow through. You're like, fuck, man, I just wasted all that money.
Well, are you trying to bulk up, or what are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to not bulk up, but just not be as flabby, you know.
That's all. You don't need to work out necessarily for that, man. Like I didn't work out until I had already lost like 30-ish pounds.
Yeah.
It's just diet, dude.
No, I know that the diet would help out like fast, you know.
Yeah.
Because I know I eat a lot of bad stuff. So my thing was like, oh, I could still eat the bad stuff if I'm working out.
Right.
But now I'm like, because I'm eating the bad stuff, I have no energy to do the workout stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like fucked either way, you know.
Going to like a McDonald's coma and wake up like, oh shit, I was supposed to work out.
Like I'll be eating like garbage at work, and I was like, oh man, you know, I'm just gonna go home and like go for a long walk, you know, take the dog for a long walk, and then I get home and I was like, maybe tomorrow I'll do it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I always like convince myself like reasons why not to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like with open mics and stuff. I was like, oh well, I got to go hit up this mic. I would work out. I swear to God, but I got to go do this. Try out this new stuff.
Yeah, that's what's funny. People are like, dang, dude, you lost a lot of weight. They're like, oh, did you cut out drinking beer? And I'm like, no, actually, I've drank more beer from January to now than I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because like I started stand up in December, and like I drink all the time when I'm at like any of the clubs. So it's like, dude, I've actually like, and then I drink at the house too. So
yeah,
I've drank like way more than I have. It's just cutting out all the other stuff. I'm sure I would have probably done a little better with the beer, maybe a little faster. But
do you like to drink before you go on, or you just drink afterwards, or you just drink during?
dude, if I get a little buzzed, it fucks up my concentration completely.
Sure, man.
Completely. Like if I was actually buzzed last night, and it totally fucked me up. I forgot the order of jokes. I forgot a couple jokes.
Yeah.
And that was just on me. That was stupid on my part. But yeah, dude, if I get the least bit buzzed, my brain gets just a little foggy enough to the point where like I'll be like, what joke is next? What joke is next? And then I feel like I'm standing there for an eternity, but really it's only like a second or two.
Yeah.
And so I just panic and go into like the first joke that comes in my head.
Yeah. When I started, I was like 100% sober. That whole month I was doing a sober month, and towards the end of that month, it was last March. I went up and I did sober. I was like, oh man, that felt great. Being all clear headed. And for the first few times, like it was just sober, and I was like, oh, let me just see what I could do. With a drink or two. And no, I can't do it, man.
Dude.
I can't do it. And then sometimes, like, because they're so late, some of these open mics are so late, and you're there like early because you have to be there early to sign up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, let me just have another drink and stuff. And my problem is I can't just have one.
Right.
They'll be like, oh, we have this like a shot and beer combo.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right, well, that's a good deal. I can't pass up a good deal. And then by the time my name gets caught up, I'm like, fucking shit, man. Like, I can't do this.
Dude.
I can't do it. I can't drink and do go on stage.
I don't know how people drink. I don't know how people get high and go on stage. There is like, if I got high and went on stage, I would laugh all 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Thinking about the joke that I wanted to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Like the last time, a couple of Thursdays at Jokesters, they have the Jokesters open mic on Thursday.
Right.
We didn't think anybody's going to show up. We just thought it was going to be other comics and stuff. And so I was like, well, fuck it. If we're just like, knocking off and just trying stuff out in front of like other comics,
right.
Let me get a couple of drinks. So I got fucking wasted before it even started. Before the mic even started, I was getting whiskey and beer. And then by the time like I'm getting to go up, people are starting to show up, like other people besides comics. So now it's turning into like an actual, you gotta make these people laugh. You gotta make them want to come back and shit.
Right.
Dude, it was fucking horrible. It was fucking horrible. And I felt bad too. I was like, what a fucking waste of an open mic, of a night. Because it was my last time to try stuff out before I had the show, the showcase.
The chiladas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I was so mad at myself, but I had a good buzz.
How did chiladas go?
It was good, man. It was an older crowd. It was first time doing 10 minutes, and it was good, man. My starts, like the way I start, always determines how my set's gonna be.
Right.
So it was a good start.
Nice.
And then I was just rolling with it. There was some stuff that didn't hit, and so I pointed that out. Like, oh, that didn't hit like I thought it would, and them seeing me like be disappointed in my joke, that would make them laugh and stuff.
Nice.
But it was good, man. I felt like it was a very solid set. I wanted to use the film because Irma was recording it. She recorded the one who runs Mind Twist Comedy.
Right.
She recorded our sets, and then on the jokes that I wanted to like cut up and maybe like put on YouTube or whatever, the waitresses were standing in front of the camera and shit. It's like, fuck, man. So I got good audio of the crowd's responses and all that stuff.
Nice, dude.
But yeah, it was a good show. It was a really good show, and in fact, with that show, I got another show on June 5th with some people that are trying to put together like some type of TV show for Amazon.
Dude, badass.
They're gonna try to mix like it's like stand-up comedy and then like people doing skits and stuff. So they're putting like a package together to like submit to Amazon and stuff. So that we're doing that show, the Local Budos show, June 5th. And which is cool because they're gonna do a comedy reel, like they're gonna record everybody's sets.
Nice.
It's gonna be look professional and stuff. And then they offer free headshots and stuff. And then I think they give you like a bottle whoever they're sponsored by.
Sick.
So I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
I told them, I want to lose like 10 pounds before I do headshots.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, I got to lose this fucking chin and shit. They're like, oh, we could do like Photoshop. I was like, I want it to be me. But that's cool. So the show that you have coming up on Sunday, man. So that's your first time at on the big stage at LOL?
Yeah, first time on the big stage. That'll be like far and away the biggest show that I've done to date. I'm stoked for it, man. Like I'm ready for it. I worked out the 5 that I wanted to do last Friday. I still need to like do it again, make sure it's something I want to do. Mm-hmm. But so I'm doing 5 minutes, and I'm fucking ready for it, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What other shows have you done? What other shows have you done?
Man, I mean, really, I did like this one, like benefit one that Joey was telling you about on his podcast, the For the Heroes.
Oh yeah.
We did that one. Man, shows. Like nothing else is even coming to mind. I think I've basically just done open mics. That's really about it, man. So that's really about it.
Yeah. So you just started this past December?
Yeah, December 17th, man.
Man, I thought you've been doing it for a while, man.
No, I the first time I went out was the week before December 17th, and that's actually where I met Joey Smith. Mm-hmm. I got to give a big shout out to Joey, dude. I love Joey. I went out to LOL. Wanted to watch it because I had no idea how any of it worked. I knew I wanted to go up, so I was like, okay, I'll go watch it this week, and then I'll go up next week. And so I went out. I met Joey that first night. Joey was like, dude, come out to Jokesters in 2 nights. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I'll try and write like a set by Thursday. So I wrote a set by Thursday and went out with him. So he's kind of been with me from day one. Like I think that was his second time-ish going up. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of been on the ride together. Like anywhere he's like been able to like get me in or get me on a show or something, he's been able to help me out, man. Joey's the bomb. But yeah, I started in December and just been trying to kind of work on everything I have since then.
No, that's why I wanted to get you on, man, because like the way I say y'all, like as a 3 Musketeers, like you, Joey, and Byers.
Yeah.
You know, because y'all are always together. Y'all run as a little pack and stuff.
Yeah.
Like y'all write together too, right? Y'all do like writing sessions and stuff.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That kind of works out. Like help out, like give a different perspective, different point of view and stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I've had Byers on, I had Joey on, and then like, oh, so when are you gonna come on, man?
Yeah.
And then I saw you had the show. I was like, come on, we got to do it now.
What I love, like we seem to write well together. Like I don't know exactly. I can't speak for the other guys as far as like what they get out of it. I get a lot out of writing with them, and I don't get a lot out of writing with them. I actually get a lot out of just shooting the shit with them, like sitting here talking like you and I are. I get some of my best jokes like that.
Yeah.
We've written with like Adrian quite a bit, Adrian Flores.
Yeah.
That dude, like just sitting talking to him, I get some of like the best material that I've ever had.
Yeah.
At least in my eyes.
No, I need to do that more. I need to do like more of the hangout because I don't really do that. Like I'll go sign up at LOL and then I'll see what time I get. And it's always usually late.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, let me go run this errand, I'll take care of this and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably just show up like right before my sets. I'll catch a couple of people. And then by that time, like everybody's pretty much gone and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'll try to, like yesterday I hit up Elbow Room. Elbow Room is still a rough place, man. Have you been there yet? The Elbow Room? It's a rough place, man, but it has such great potential to be a good spot.
The look, layout, everything of that room is awesome.
The bar is great, man. The bartenders suck, but I mean, no offense. They don't suck. They're very nice people, but they are yelling the whole time comics are on stage.
Yeah.
And not even yelling to customers. They're yelling to themselves. They're just like adding their own, and like the bar is set right by the fucking stage.
Right.
I was like, why do you have to be so loud? Like, why are you so fucking loud right now? Like, do you not know what's going on? Do you not understand this? But I mean, that could be worked out. That could be like, you know, maybe I could tell them instead of like bitching at them from the stage and shit, like shut up, bitch. Which happened a couple times.
Yeah, like
it's a great place, man.
I'm like monotone, and so just typically if I'm in a place where there's a lot of talking going on, I really struggle.
Yeah.
Where like somebody like Dallas, who's a lot more like animated and
he demands your attention.
Exactly. That's something I definitely need to work on. Anytime I've been to Elbow Room, I really have to fight to get their attention.
Yeah.
So that's on me.
Yeah, my problem with that is if I get to that point, then I start being angry.
Yeah.
I start coming up like angry. Like I think I was telling you that last time at Old Main.
Yeah.
I got mad at this chick because I thought she was laughing sarcastically.
Yeah.
And she was like right there where we were, where the stage was, and then you just hear like ha ha
Yeah.
ha, and I'm like, I started going at her like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, dude, if either laugh or don't, you know,
Yeah.
but don't do that. And then I did another joke, and she did it again. I was like, dude, just don't.
Yeah.
And then I come to find out, I'm watching a couple more comics. That's just how she laughs.
Right.
Like that was her real laugh.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, like now I'm an asshole. So I guess we both have stuff to work on.
Yeah.
You know, because that was a very annoying laugh.
When nobody pays attention to me, I just laugh at myself, man. Because like I'm just spinning my wheels, and I don't know, I look terrible. Like especially when no one. I mean, what can you do? It's something I got to work on.
Yeah, yesterday.
Not interesting.
Yesterday at my set at LOL, there was a lot of people there, but my first joke was not a joke that they liked or that they appreciated.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured it out. You know, it's a rough joke, but it works in the middle of my set because by that time, like you understand who I am, you understand my sense of humor, you understand, you know, what I do and all that stuff. But to come out of the gate and open with it, it could offend people.
Right.
And that's what happened yesterday. So like they were just like hated me from the beginning.
Oh man.
And I was like, fuck, man, I couldn't dig myself out of it. And it would have been worse if there was less people there, but there was like so many people there. Well, there was about 20 people there.
Right.
But the silence was killing me, and I was like,
I bet.
Man, this is fucking horrible. I'm sorry, I fucking killed the whole mood and shit.
I did that yesterday. I've got a few like racial jokes, and I've found what I think is like the best order for them.
Yeah.
And I was just barely buzzed yesterday, man, and I could not remember the first order of that joke. And so I skipped straight to the second one, and a little rough, man, a little rocky.
Yeah.
So
it's good to learn, man, but it is fucking painful.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like it did take me a long time to fall asleep last night because of that. I kept like having the shakes, like shaking up, like fuck, I did that shit.
Dude, is there anything worse? Like I'm a very, very optimistic person.
Yeah.
Like always.
Yeah.
And I've found that ever since I started doing comedy, like I have a lot of lows in, like I've never been like the type of person that gets kind of down until I started doing comedy, man. There's like nothing worse than like you going up, bombing, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. There's nothing better and there's nothing worse to help how you feel about yourself. You know?
Yes.
If you have a good night,
oh, it's the best.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. And then you fucking bomb and shit. Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. But again, like, and then what sucks too is like, say I had a bad set yesterday on Tuesday.
Right.
Like, I'm not going out tonight. I'll probably go out tomorrow, right? But if I have another bad set tomorrow, like what the fuck? Like, you just get deeper and deeper into it. Like,
it's like a gambler.
It doesn't wash
doubling
away.
down.
Doesn't wash away until you get a like really good set and shit.
That's coming into last night. I was on like a streak of like I put together what I thought was 3 good sets.
Yeah.
And so coming into last night, I felt on fire. Last night was one of those nights where like I got off stage and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I did okay, not good, you know. Just one of those things.
And it shakes you, man. It shakes you.
Yeah.
But no, you're pretty solid, man. Like if once you're in your zone, man, you're pretty solid. Like this, like you do that one joke that gets me every time. I'm like, fuck, man, how does he fucking do that shit? But it's funny, man. But yeah, I get like the bad sets and shit. So one of the things that really interests me about you, like you even talk about a bunch about your set. Is it cool if we talk about like the whole like?
Oh no, not at all.
Mormonism?
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm an open book, dude.
Well, the reason I'll get into my story, I guess the reason why I found it so interesting was because like I was very religious when I was a kid. When I was younger, you know, I was raised Catholic, you know, Mexican, obvious.
Right.
I was an altar boy, you know, so went to church every weekend and worked through the church and all that stuff.
Right.
And then my whole thing was like the fear of God, the fear of like the church and all that stuff.
Right.
And then there was just things that started happening that I was like disagreeing with, you know. Like our priest at that time, like you think the abortion thing is a hot topic now,
right?
Like back in the '90s, early '90s, like the pro-life, pro-choice thing, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And our priest at that time, they would do like what do you call it? Like boycott? Not boycotts, but like where they go and picket outside, like the Planned Parenthood or shit. What do you call it? Whatever.
Protest,
picketing, trespassing, whatever, harassing people that would go into Planned Parenthood.
Right.
And he even got arrested. He got arrested for trespassing, for harassing, and all that stuff.
Damn.
Well, he came back to the church and he asked the school to collect pennies, to collect all the pennies that you could find, check your couch cushions, all that stuff, because he was going to pay all his legal fees with the pennies that we donated to him. So that was like, why you're saying fuck you to the police?
Right.
You were in the wrong.
Right.
You were trespassing. They asked you nicely to leave, and that's why you got arrested. And now you're asking us kids to pretty much join in the whole fuck you to the city, to SAPD, by collecting these pennies to pay for your bill, to pay for all your shit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, that's not right. And then like a lot of stuff with my parents' separation, like they didn't divorce until I was older.
Right.
But my father would bring his current family at that time, his girlfriend and his girlfriend's kids at the time, and the church would just embrace him, because as long as you're paying donations and stuff, like they would just embrace you. I was like, okay, that's fucked up too.
Right.
So my whole respect and just alliance, I guess, to the church just all went away with like those things, like just topping on top of each other and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get like being so involved in something and then just losing it,
right?
Or just wanting to like not be a part of it because of X, Y, and Z. So what was your story, man? Like what happened with you, and what made you decide to change?
See, so I got a lot more respect for people like you because you actually had a reason for leaving. Like you looked at something and were like, "There's something wrong here," and I was a fucking idiot, man. Like, so the reason of what kind of shook me was a little bit more depressing. I was hook, line, and sinker sold into Mormonism, man. Like born and raised in it. Yeah. And when I was 24, I was preparing a lesson for church on Sunday, and the title of one of the lessons was Joseph Smith and the First Visions. And as a Mormon member, I was only taught like the first vision. There was only one vision. Come to find out, there's actually like 7 different versions, and they're all like crazy different, like that he told. So like the first one he ever wrote down right after he had like his first vision, saying like, that basically started Mormonism, was like, hey, an angel showed up to me. The next one is like, an angel showed up to me and told me that I needed to start a church. The next one after that is like, God showed up to me. The next one after that is like, God and Jesus showed up to me. That rocked my boat, man.
Yeah.
Because I was taught my whole life, and I actually had to memorize scriptures like about the first vision. So just like the church admitting that there are other versions out there that are all like official, that there's no way they mesh, totally threw me. So I was like, all right, well, what else are they not telling me? And I started researching from there. So it wasn't like it's actually really embarrassing looking back. Like now I'm like very progressive, like for example, with Mormons are against like gay marriage, for example. I was hook, line, and sinker, like Mormonism is true, gay marriage is wrong. So I look at like stuff like that, where you actually looked at something and was like, this is not right.
Yeah.
I was hook, line, and sinker, like, yeah, let's get some pennies to help pay this dude's, bill or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, but that was the catalyst. So I found that article online. I started researching, and it took I basically every day I would research, and it took about 7 or 8 months. What I would do is I would sit down and say, all right, what percentage do I believe in Mormonism and what percentage don't I believe in Mormonism? And it just kept chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. And when I got to the point where I felt like I 51% did not believe in Mormonism, I told my wife, and we had like the rockiest month and a half of our marriage ever.
Oh, wow.
Because in Mormonism, Mormons believe that you have to be sealed in the temple. And what they mean by that is like, if you get married and you don't get married in the Mormon temple, when you die, you're not married anymore. If you are sealed in the Mormon temple, like when I marry my wife and we get sealed together, when we die, as long as we're both righteous and we go to heaven, we're going to be married in heaven. And so if you
y'all don't do that till death do us part in the vows?
That's what they say. Like they don't do the till death do you part.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly what the wording is, but that's what they think about like non-Mormon weddings. It's till death do you part, and at death you're done.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, I basically, when I'm telling my wife I don't believe in Mormonism, what I'm telling her is like, you don't have a husband anymore, like past us,
Wow.
dying.
Wow.
And so for a lot of like Mormon people, if the other spouse keeps believing, like one leaves and the other spouse keeps believing, a lot of time they get divorced because like, why would you stay with somebody if you think you live on earth for 60 something years, and then you spend eternity with your spouse, like why the fuck would you spend 60 years here, 40 years or whatever it is, with somebody that you're not going to be married to for the rest of eternity?
Did your wife have doubts too before you had that, or you brought her all up?
No, I was 100% in until I found like that one article. And then I told her when I was about 49% into Mormonism, and she was hook, line, and sinker sold. And I told her it took about a month and a half until she was finally like, "Hey, what were you researching?"
Yeah.
But that we never fight, we never have arguments really, and that was the rockiest part of our marriage ever.
Yeah. Like with Catholics, I mean, like I still go to church. Like if there's something that goes on, like we do rosaries when somebody passes. We pray for them to get into heaven, all that stuff.
Right.
I still do that. I still go to those things. I still participate in that way.
Yeah.
But like I don't receive communion. Or I don't do like the body of Christ, the blood of Christ. I don't do that. I don't do like any like the confessions. I don't do any of that.
Right.
But so I still kind of practice for occasions, for special occasions.
Right.
Holidays and all that stuff. With Mormons, like you're either 100% or none, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to be one or the other because they teach like this is 100% true. If the Book of Mormon isn't true, then like all the rest of it isn't true. If Joseph Smith didn't have the first vision, and they actually actively teach that. If this didn't happen, none of it's true. And so if you come to the point where you're like, this one thing isn't true, the whole house of cards crumbles.
Wow.
And it's almost impossible. I mean, there's people that don't believe that still go, but it's almost impossible. If you get to the point where you don't believe, it's almost impossible as a Mormon to keep going because it's either all or nothing. And like Catholicism, Judaism, I know is kind of like Catholicism. You can like culturally be Jewish where you like do all the practices, you celebrate, but I know I actually know a lot of Jewish people that don't believe.
Yeah, they don't celebrate their holidays and all that stuff.
Yeah, with Mormons, it's all in or all out, man.
Man, that's crazy. So yeah, that has to be like a tough decision to make, because you weren't just making it for yourself. You're making it like for your family and stuff.
Yes. And well, I was doing it thinking, all right, well, either she's going to be on board or she's not, and that might be the end of our marriage. But like,
wow,
I was sitting there. I love my wife, and I was like, I don't know if I could live this like life where I could, because I was like, all right, well, if I bring this up, she might divorce me. But it's like, I don't know if I could live a life of like believing in Mormonism or pretending to believe in Mormonism.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like, has the backfire of all that stuff like kind of settled? Like, you're still good with like the people you were good with before? Y'all just don't share the church anymore, like stuff like that.
The biggest thing that took a hit was me and my parents' relationship because they're still all in, Yeah. And it's the same with them. Like you get sealed together as a family, so all your kids are going to be your kids in the afterlife and all that stuff. So basically, with me it's the same thing with my wife. With me telling them, it's like, hey, I'm not going to be in heaven with you guys anymore. Is what they literally believe.
Man, that's so crazy. That's such a like intense theory or thought. Like after we're gone, like we'll see each other like there, and we'll join up in there and stuff.
Right.
I mean, I guess that everybody has like their thoughts of like heaven and the afterlife and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like I don't believe in all that stuff. Like I think once you're done here, that's it.
Right.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's the whole heaven. I mean, I guess I say that, but then I just think, oh, well, I still go to rosaries, because you're praying for the past soul to get into heaven, all that stuff. So I don't know, man. I guess just like out of habit, out of blind faith, and just like it's like the safe bet type of thing. Like how could this hurt if I do it? If I don't do it, I'll probably feel bad. But if I do, I'm just placing a safe bet type of thing.
Right. There's a name for that. I want to say Occam's razor, but it's not Occam's razor. It's something else.
Yeah. But yeah, it always interests me when like you said, like with Catholics and with like the Jewish, like they can say like they're not practicing, they're not a part of it,
Right.
but it's not as serious. It's not as serious.
Right.
To me, it's not as serious as people that leave like the Mormon church and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a big deal. Like, what is that thing? Like, is it like the Amish that they go on like their little journey and stuff? Like they go into like the big city and they live that life, and like they choose then if they want to come back or do other stuff. Like, is it sort of like that? Like, kind of connected with that, or
no? I mean, Mormons are really mainstream Christians with just their whole different set of beliefs, like on top of Christianity. So they're basically Catholics for the most part, with just a little bit extra. But like there's no really like, oh, go out and figure out if you want it to be true. Like you choose at 8 if you want to be baptized, you know, and you're just kind of raised up believing that this is true. And it's kind of funny too, because like, so you're not Mormon, you've never been Mormon. Mormons believe that when you die, you could possibly become Mormon in the afterlife because you never had the opportunity yet, right? I'm done. I already made the choice.
Wow.
And so that's where the difference is. Like, you know, let's say your parents tomorrow become Mormon. Like they would probably try to get you to be Mormon because they'd be like, hey, you should be in the afterlife with us.
Yeah.
But if you're not, it's no big deal because maybe when you die, maybe you'll become Mormon. I am a 100%. I already turned it down. So when I die, they know where I'm going. You know what I mean?
There's no born again Mormonism or Mormon?
No.
Born again
No,
stuff?
I would have to, in this lifetime, I would have to go back to Mormonism.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah. So as long as I'm not Mormon, like it's like I have like a death nail on me from like people that are not Mormon, like my parents.
Yeah.
They would know, like according to them, like, yeah, we're not going to see him.
Well, so what kind of stuff? Like, what kind of silly stuff were you not allowed to do? Like, could you ride a motorcycle if you were in the church?
So I'll give you some of the silly stuff.
And with all due respect, I'm not trying to like shit on anybody listening and all that stuff.
I lived it for 25 years. I have no respect for it, so I'll shit on it. No, you're not allowed to drink tea.
Tea? Like,
yep.
Sugar? No, just no tea?
No tea.
Why is that? What's the do they?
Because God says.
Just because God said. So there's no explanation behind reasons why or rules that you couldn't do, like man-made rules.
Everybody has, like a lot of Mormons have their own specific like ways that they think of it. For example, coffee is another one. You're not allowed to drink coffee.
What?
So some Mormons think that's because caffeine, but they'll still drink soda. So like some Mormons think you're not allowed to drink soda either. There's no like official, you can't drink soda or caffeine. Like they'll drink like caffeine-free soda. So like some Mormons take you can't drink coffee as like, because we know what's in coffee. And so some Mormons take that as like, oh, it's the caffeine. But so no tea, no coffee, no drugs of any kind. So like a cigarette, can't do. You could do like medical drugs, but no like marijuana, no none of that.
What if it's medical marijuana?
They finally kind of come around the bend on that.
Yeah.
And like your day-to-day Mormons would probably like, some would probably say no, some would probably say yes. The Mormon church has barely turned the corner on that a little bit, but they're pretty much against it.
Yeah.
Not allowed to drink, no alcohol. So those are kind of the crazier beliefs. Like the magic underwear, that's a real thing.
The magic underwear? Yeah. What is that?
So when you go through the temple, you get what's called garments. Garments are supposed to like signify your covenant with God to keep his commandments. And it's supposed to represent like Adam and Eve when they got clothed in the garden after they ate the fruit, you know? But basically, as long as you're wearing them, it shows that you're like going to keep God's covenants and that he's going to protect you. And the reason they get that, the like moniker of magic underwear is because like there's stories floating around in Mormonism that like, oh, somebody got shot and like they're wearing their garments and it didn't go through the garments.
Oh, okay.
So like I was taught like different stories like that when I was a kid. So that's kind of how people think like, oh, so they wear these magic underwear.
Yeah.
But so like, yeah, if you look at like any of my pictures from like 5-6 years ago and I'm wearing like an undershirt in every single picture, those are my magic underwear, man.
What happens if they rip? Do you get them replaced? Like,
yeah, you buy them. You have to buy them from the church. So,
so you can't get it on Amazon?
you probably would be able to, but
so Mormons could use Amazon, but
yeah. But yeah, if you're getting on Amazon, that means you bought them from somebody that like those were theirs. So
nah, man. And then I guess it's different than like the Jehovah's Witness, right? Like y'all don't go out and like try to recruit or anything like that. Y'all do.
Yeah, people confuse us with Jehovah's Witnesses all the time because we go door to door. So when you turn, at least when you're a boy, and they've changed it since I've been in it. When I was in the church, when you turn 19, now it's 18. Mm-hmm. When you turn 19, if you were a boy, you were able to go out on a mission, which means for 2 years, like they told you where to go, but for 2 years you were sent somewhere and you were in that area for 2 years with a companion, like going door to door, riding on bikes with little name tags and stuff, and just trying to convert people. So I was sent to Calgary, Canada. I was sent to the Calgary, Canada mission. And I only stayed out there 8 months. I ended up coming home. Yeah. But, yeah, so we do the door-to-door thing.
Is it? I knew somebody that would. I don't know if it's Mormons or Jehovah's Witness, but because if you ask them to help you in any way, like Mormons. They can't say no. Yeah. So every time that they had to move, they would ask Mormons, and like, yeah, sure. Like they were like the whole gang of them would help move furniture from one apartment to the next and all that stuff. Yeah. And all you got to do is like actually sit down and have like an actual conversation with them about their church and then decide all that stuff. So that's more.
I mean, technically, I don't even think you'd have to do that. Like the problem is, so when you go door to door, nobody wants to talk to you. Yeah. So we would get asked like every once in a while to like help out. And with anything, like I was in Canada, so we would shovel people's driveways. You're so fucking bored that like I'll do fucking anything, man. Like I'll shovel your driveway. I don't care if it means I have a tiny sliver of sitting down with you and maybe you taking a lesson, because they track all that stuff. Like you have to like track how many lessons you give a week, and you have to have a goal of like I have to give this many lessons a week. Yeah. Nothing happens if you don't reach it, but you still have like the goal.
I was like, what's the punishment for that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they would like try and put you somewhere else, see if you can like work a little more or something. But yeah, you have goals that you set per week where you're trying to give X amount of lessons and stuff.
Yeah. But no, I always thought like, oh man, that's a good way to kind of like not cheat the system, but like kind of take advantage of people. Dude. Which sounds horrible now that I'm saying it. But yeah, like any time they had to move, you always saw Mormons there.
From somebody that is not that served on a mission and was one of those missionaries, dude, you're not taking advantage of them. They're bored shitless, and they probably got a boner at the opportunity of you possibly taking a lesson.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy. That sounds so wholesome, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in Mormonism that I think they're taught for the wrong reasons ultimately. But regardless of how you get there, if it's the wrong reasons, they're still good teachings. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for example, I was talking about this the other night. Like the whole don't have sex before marriage isn't necessarily a bad teaching, I don't think. Yeah. Like before marriage, you know, I don't agree with that. But the idea is like, okay, we don't want like kids growing up with like parents that aren't together. Like I'm generally for that idea. I was raised by a single parent. I saw what that was like. The mechanism for doing that is like, that's a sin, and a sin will make you burn in hell. The outcome that they want is good. The way that you teach somebody that is bad. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of wholesome things that I think the way they get there is wrong, but the end teaching I think is pretty good. Yeah. So that's a bad example because I don't agree with the sex before marriage. I should just say like just sex in general, like don't have sex. Yeah. But
no, I mean everybody has that, like, you know, it's a sin and stuff, but like doesn't stop anybody. No. You know, people still do it.
And I was thinking about that today. Like with Mormonism, like you're kind of so walled off, and like, for example, what made me think about it was you and Dallas Van. I was listening to your guys' episode. I listen to like 3 or 4 episodes a day, just refreshing myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we touched on porn and like the difference that we like, yeah.
And you guys are talking about masturbation, and I was sitting there like, even as like a 30-year-old dude, it's hard for me to break out of that mold of like, holy shit, these dudes are just sitting there talking about masturbation. Because when I was growing up, The first time I masturbated, I was like, dude, I'm the only dude in the world that's masturbated. And like, I'm going to hell. And if somebody else has, they've already probably like repented of that sin.
Yeah.
Or they're like not Mormon and they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because like, I literally thought like the first time I masturbated, I was like, fuck, I'm going to hell now. Like,
yeah,
it's settled.
Well, everybody has that thoughts after
Yeah.
they come. I mean, like the whole like come down thing, that whole guilty thing.
Yeah.
At the end, like everybody thinks they're going to hell afterwards.
I think that
it's not just the Mormon thing.
I think the difference is like when you're raised Mormon, like you would never, like he was talking about when he found his dad's porn and he took it to school.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I found, and he was like, oh, you probably took it to school. And you're like, no,
man.
I would have been the same way. It would have been like, dude, nobody's going to know that I found this. Cause if they do, like, they're going to tell on me. Yeah. Like when you're Mormon, you know, you grow up and it's like, dude, there's no way in the world I would have ever suggested to anybody that I had ever once even touched my dick, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, man, I remember that, like that whole fear, like, he's like, oh, you're probably the cool guy, you know, you took it. I was like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, one person tells another person and then I get in trouble and shit. And then you know, when you were younger, when you thought you were in trouble, you're like, fuck, my life's over, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, and that's how it was. And it was so fucking filthy. Right. It was just filthy stuff that I was more afraid of being, getting in trouble. And then I was more like embarrassed that I actually enjoyed what I was like watching or seeing and all that stuff. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Why are all these naked chicks like fucking doing this to me? Like, I'm fucking sick and mental.
Dude, it was making me think of the first time that it wasn't even porn, man. It was a girl in a fucking bathing suit, but kind of in like doggy stuff. Like, I don't know. She was kind of like bent over, like on all fours with her ass up in the air. Yeah. But the picture was like from above her, like looking down at her face, so like you couldn't even see anything, right? And she was in a bathing suit anyways. Yeah. That was like the first thing I ever like printed off at my house. And that was, dude, that was back when you had to have the disc, the AOL disc in. Yeah. And it was fucking dial up. Yeah. And the printers, I don't know if you remember printers, but they would go line by line really fucking slow. Yeah. And so we had like our computer room and I was just raised by a single dad. And I was like running back and forth, like from the computer to like the door, like looking to see if he came home. Because if he did, I was going to like turn off the printer and like pull out the paper.
Just take what was already printed.
Yeah.
You know? It's just her forehead.
Yeah.
Like, I'll use it.
Good enough, man.
Oh shit, man. That's funny, dude. It's cool, man. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming by. Again, any shout outs, any show promotions or anything that you want to give a shout out while we got the time?
Yeah. So that one on June 2nd, that's this weekend. It's 7:30. Like I said, the tickets are free. There's an Eventbrite page. You can find it, I'm sure, on LOL's website, but you can find it on my Facebook page, Brendan Potter. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram on Pots on Fire. And I also am doing Luke Malden's Middleton 6-Pack of Brews show, July 31st. So it's a little ways out. But
I think I'm doing that show too.
Hell yeah, man.
That'll be a lot of fun, man.
Hell yeah.
That's cool, man. Man, there was so much more I wanted to cover, but I like to keep these episodes like under an hour.
Yeah.
But when I start up that podcast like that, when I do it open mic,
sit down,
for sure,
dude.
Man. Yeah. Sit down, dude. For sure, we gotta do it. You and the other three Musketeers.
Yeah, let's sit down, dude.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming out. See y'all next time.
Cool.